Most of your decisions aren't made when you think they are. They're actually made a few seconds earlier. Wait, what? Okay, stick with me, because when you understand what drives your decision making, you're able to make choices in a whole new and far more empowering way. And this can completely shift the results you see, both personally and professionally. Think about the last time you were about to take action on something, but talked yourself out of it. It's not that you weren't capable, but something in your head made a case against it. And in that moment, it felt like a decision. But if you slow that moment down, you'll realize there was a little voice there first. And that little voice is actually what decided for you. But here's what most people miss. That voice isn't just commentary or background noise. It's actually a form of leadership, and it's actively setting the direction for your life. It's giving you the thumbs up or the thumbs down to everything that's presented to it. And because of the active role it plays in your life, calling it your inner voice feels a little bit soft, to be honest, because what it really is your inner CEO. And whether you've realized it to this point or not, that CEO is running your life. Now, here's what's really fascinating to me. That voice didn't just show up randomly one day. It was built by years of experiences, moments where you learned what was safe, what was risky, and who you were allowed to be. And your brain responded by doing exactly what it is designed to do. It created a system to protect you. But protection has a cost, because the same voice that tries to keep you safe, it can also keep you playing small. You want to go after something bigger, but your inner CEO says you're not ready, or you wrap up a big project. And instead of feeling proud and celebrating it, your inner CEO points out what you could have done better. Or you get an idea, and before you even start to explore it, your inner CEO plants a seed of doubt and shuts it down. Now, you've got to remember, your inner CEO has been running your show for a really long time. And it's natural that over that time, you just stop questioning it and wind up following it. But here's something important to know. Your inner CEO isn't actually the problem. It's just that it's been over promoted. It was never meant to be the final decision maker. It was meant to provide you with data and insights, but somewhere along the way, it became the authority. And now who you are is being shaped by a voice that you never consciously chose to begin with. By the way, if this is hitting close to home, or if you're starting to recognize your own inner CEO at play, take a quick second and hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. That way we can keep building on this kind of work week after week together. Now, with my one-on-one clients, we do a lot of work around their inner CEO because, to be honest, having a rogue inner CEO is a common challenge. In fact, there are decades of research that were conducted in both personal and professional environments that show us how self-talk, so the voice of your inner CEO, how it directly influences performance, motivation, and emotional experience. And as psychologist and researcher Pamela Butler plainly put it, what we say to ourselves influences the direction and quality of our lives. That means if you want to shift the direction and quality of your life, you have to start by addressing your inner CEO. So let's talk about how to do that, because it's not actually about silencing or ignoring the voice, but it is about changing your relationship with it. So let's walk through a 4-step framework that will help you do so. Step 1 is just to notice it. You don't want to fix it or fight with your inner CEO. You just want to catch it in action. And believe it or not, this is often the hardest step because that inner CEO is operating on autopilot. It's quietly humming under the surface and affecting everything you do. And here's the thing, you can't lead what you're not aware of, which is why awareness is the first step. All right, step 2. Now that you've caught your inner CEO in action, it's time to get curious and question it. When it tells you something, don't just act on the information. Instead, pause and explore if the message is true and accurate. Because remember, our inner voice is trying to protect us, but it often does so with stories instead of facts. As a personal example, the story instilled in me from a very young age was that I wasn't smart enough. And I've talked about this in other videos, but as I grew up, this reinforced message from my parents, my teachers, my dyslexia diagnosis, it became the through line that my inner CEO used to keep me safe, to keep me from doing things that might reaffirm that I'm not smart enough. But here's the thing. When I got curious and questioned that narrative, that part of my inner CEO lost its power. It was no longer able to keep me playing small because I was finally able to see that yes, my brain works differently than some people's, but it's not a reflection of whether or not I'm smart, and it no longer defines what I do. And that's the thing about challenging your inner voice. Most of the time, the position it's taking doesn't actually hold up to scrutiny. If you are open to sharing, I would love to know what your inner CEO's go-to line is. What version of "I'm not smart enough" pops up for you? Let me know in the comments below. That way we can all see just how similar our inner critics really are. Okay, so now that we've questioned the narrative of our inner CEO, it's time for step 3, where we will anchor our thoughts in something more concrete, our values. Because when we're clear on our values, they become a guiding light that helps us see when our inner CEO is protecting us instead of serving us. So ask yourself, at the end of the day, what really matters to you? What do you value? Is it growth, courage, contribution, autonomy, connection? Whatever it is, get clear on it, because you're going to leverage it in step 4, where your decision making actually takes place. Now, your inner CEO does get a seat at the table. Some of the insights they bring are important, but what's changed is that they are no longer the sole decision maker. You decide what gets acted on, and you get to filter it through your values, making sure it's the right decision and not a pre-programmed automatic one. I have taken so many clients through this 4-step process, and it's not until they actually experiment with it that they see just how often they've given up control to their inner CEO. They thought they were leading their lives, but this exercise showed them how they were actually just following a pattern that had been established years before. I share this because when that awareness surfaces, everything else shifts. Because now you're truly able to lead yourself instead of being led by old programming that doesn't support you. Now, I know it can be hard to slow down and give yourself the gift of this type of work. But I also know from experience, it is the very thing that can rapidly accelerate your growth. And since you're here and growth is clearly important to you, I want to invite you to check out my free weekly newsletter, The Practionable Leader, where I provide practical, actionable insights and strategies to level up your leadership and your life. Because who you are is how you lead. And when you change how you lead yourself, you change everything else that follows. By the way, I'm not trying to chase you away right now. If you want to hang out a little bit longer and dive into another important self-leadership topic, then check out this video right here. And we'll keep cultivating your inner leader for massive outer impact. I'll see you there soon.